Hello, it's me, Robert Gregson. I'm going to talk to you today about chords. Now, my previous video explains about the notes and how to read music and how to avoid writing all over your keyboard and sticky silly labels on all over the place. This video is all about the chords. This is your left hand and how to do your first basic chords and how to look at it on the music so you know what to do. This is only a basic guide to get you started, but this is all you have to do. Now, first of all, we're going to look at the music. I'm going to look at this chord of C. Now, as you can see, there's a little letter C, and that means the chord of C. And if you go along a little bit further in the music, you'll see G7, which is a chord of G7. And then it goes back to C again. And as you go through the music, there's another G7 here, and C. And the song is the first song in the book, in most books, which is called Melody We Go Along. Now, the chord of C, I'll show you down here, is played like this. First of all, you have to find the G, the A, the C and the E. And you use fingers 5, 4, 2 and 1. And so when you play, you put your beat on and you press it, because you've got it on the finger mode setting, you'll have that as a chord of C. Now I'm going to move this finger out of the way so you can see a bit clearer. So if you could just show that. So that's the chord of C. So it's the notes G, A, C and E. That's a G, that's an A, that's a C and an E. And then to get the next chord, the G7, you're going to keep your same fingers, and all you're going to do is keep them in the same position, but you're going to let go of the keys and use the same fingers, keep your hand rigid, and all you're doing is moving that thumb down one set of one key. And the same fingers go down again. So now you've got F, G, B and D. So you need to, show us. So that means we're going to go back up, keep your fingers where they are and just watch that thumb, and when you move your thumb up one note, all the other fingers go with it and the same fingers go down. So you get your G, A, C for the chord of C. And it goes up, and you watch your thumb, and your thumb goes down one note, and the same fingers go down, and you end up with the chord of G7, which is F, G, B and D. Now those two chords to start with are C and G. There's 3 chords altogether that you have to learn. Now the reason I teach you these 3 chords, but I'm just showing you 2 for now, I'll show you the other one in a minute. These chords are in absolutely every single song you're ever going to play. You'll always play a C, you'll always play a G, and eventually you'll always play an F. But there's lots of other chords. Now don't get put off by chords and chord names. Every one is just a 4-note chord, you're playing 4 notes. Now when you've learnt the first 3 chords, C, G and F, which can take up to 6 months, once you practice those, you've learnt those, the rest of the chords are a lot easier. They are called root chords. Now this might sound very technical if you don't know anything about music. And basically it just means it's a starting position for doing all the other chords. So if I go back to the hand down here, so for example, that was the C chord. I'll just put the beat on to make it sound like. Now I'll show you one more chord, but that's a later on. The next chord you'd learn later on is the C7. But instead of playing 4 notes, you just take that finger off and put that finger down on the flat. So your main hand is in the place it was before, in the root chord position, but you've learnt a new chord by changing one finger. And all the other chords are very similar, one finger changes or a couple of finger changes, and you learn all the others easier. But you've got to know the first 3 basic chords to get your hand in the right place, so it's easier to play all the other chords. Now I use the Complete Organ Player or the Complete Keyboard Player book from Kenneth Baker, and you'll find that all the other music books, beginners books, they have different versions of different chords. So you'll see C, you might see 2 or 3 different C chords and 2 or 3 different D chords. Don't be put off, stick to the same books. Try and stick to the Complete Keyboard Player by Kenneth Baker or the Complete Organ Player by Kenneth Baker. It's the same thing, only the organ is for 2 manual keyboard, but it's the same process. You can learn the same chords. So now I'm going to just explain a bit more about this. So in the music, as we saw, there was a C chord, and then as you play along, it changes to G and then back to C. So all you're going to do is you're going to play the first chord of C, like that. Now then you start playing the melody. So you start playing the melody, and the other video will show you how to play your melody. So you're going to play it and you're going to go. And when you get to that point, which is there on the music, and you see that D, that's the next note, but you've got the G7 above it, so now you change your chord down here, the whole hand comes off, you move down one set of keys and the same fingers go down, and now you're playing the G7 chord, and you play the rest of the notes. And then it changes again to C, up here. So now you're going to change back to the C chord, so the whole hand comes up, it goes up one set of notes and the same fingers go down, and you're back to C again. And then you play the rest of the song. Change again. We'll do that one more time. That is the first tune in book one. All books ones have that tune in it. And that's what you do with all your tunes. You just learn those first two chords to start with and just get used to changing up and down one set of keys. Now that's the easy part. Now we're going to get a little bit more complicated. And we're going to go only a few songs up, but don't be put off by it. It's only a 4-note chord. And this chord, we're going to look at it down here. It's called When the Sage Go Marching in the Song, and the chord is called F6, which is here. Now, as you can see, there are all different names for different chords. So try and remember them. Try and remember them all. The only trouble with these books, they show C as C, but because we're doing 4 notes, it's actually C6. So just remember C6, and you've got G7 and F6. Now it might sound a bit confusing at first, but it is easy. You'll soon pick it up. And once you've learned a chord, you never forget it. You never forget it. It's very rare you forget a chord. And then you learn some more, you learn some more. And there's hundreds and thousands of chords. Even after 46 years, I'm still learning chords. There's loads. But don't be put off. You do remember them as you do your tune, and you'll find them as easy as anything. Anyway, so now I'm going to show you the F chord, the F6 chord. Now we showed you before the C chord, which was G, A, C and E. Now to get to F, you have to do something a little bit different. You're going to bring your thumb in one note, and your little finger's going to go out one note. And that is now the F chord. So going back to C from F, your little finger goes in one note, and your thumb goes out one note. And you're back to C again. So going through the whole lot, you've got C, your whole hand lifts up and goes down one set of keys to get to G7, and then your whole hand lifts up and goes back to C6, and then your thumb comes in and your little finger goes out to get to the F6 chord, and to go back to C again, your little finger goes in and your thumb goes out. Now the same principle happens when you're playing the song. You play your melody, and as soon as you get to C, you play the C chord. And then you carry on playing the rest of the melody, and you flow it down to the next line, and you keep going till you see the next chord, and then you will move your hand down one set of keys to get to the G7, and you carry on playing down until you see the C, and your hand goes back up again to the C or the C6. But when you get to here, the F6, your thumb goes in and your little finger goes out, and that gives you the F6, and eventually you go back to a C, so your little finger goes in and your thumb goes out. And you move the whole hand down to get to G7, and then the whole hand back up to get to C. And those are the first 3 chords. Now, so far I've showed you the C chord, the C6 chord, the whole hand goes down with the same fingers for G7 chord, and then back up to C6 again, and your thumb goes in, your little finger goes out for the F6, and back again to get back to C6. Now there's just one more move. Now once you've learnt those 3 basic moves, that's basically what you have to do. But there's one little move you have to do, and this is just a little bit more awkward. But once you've learnt this, then you've learnt the main 3 chords. And you probably hear people who can write songs with just 3 chords. You might have heard it on a guitar. They play guitar with 3 chords and things like that. These are the first 3 chords for keyboard, but there are other chords that you've got to learn as well. But these are the basic chords. So I'm going to show you this last move. Now once you've finally learned, you've learned your C chord, and you've learned how to move down one set of keys to get to G7, and you've learned how to go back up to one set of keys to go back to C6, and you've learned how to bring your thumb in, the little finger out to get to F6, and you've learned to bring your little finger in and your thumb out and get back to C. Now this other move is just a little bit more tricky. You're going to now go back to F, so your thumb goes in, your little finger goes out. Now you've got to go from F to G. And the way we do that is, instead of moving the little finger and your thumb, they stay where they are, but these 2 fingers that you've got down, they're going to move on to the 2 notes that are here. So you're going to do that. So now you've got F, G, B and D. And those 2 fingers are now going to move back up to get to F. And that's a little bit more trickier. So remember to keep your thumb and the little fingers down. Put a bit more pressure on those, and you're moving the middle fingers like that to change to chord. So you're going from F to G7. On those, that is the basic 3 chords that you need to play tunes. Now remember, those chords are in every single tune you're going to play. No matter what it is, whether it's a new song came out tomorrow and it's a big hit in the charts or all this, it'll have those chords in it. Or whether it's a really old-fashioned song from years ago, 1920s, or when music first came out, it will have those chords in it. So you have to learn those basic moves, the C to the G, and C to F, and F to G, and get those in, and your hand will be in the right position then to play all the other chords, and they're a lot easier. I've been playing for 46 years, and I can tell you now there are 2 really, really difficult hard chords to learn. The rest are the rest will come just with normal practice. And there's only 2 chords. I won't go into what those are, because they're far more advanced, and you won't need those for many years now if you're just new to the hobby and you're learning. But maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years down the line, you'll come to those chords, and they just take a lot more practice. But you can do them, and it's not that hard really. And by then you'll be far more experienced, and you won't need to worry. So that's it really. Those are the 3 chords, and that means you can start playing your tunes and enjoying yourself. Now refer to my other videos, because when you're practicing you can play the same songs over and over again and you get fed up, and most people pack it in. Look at my other videos about rhythms and timing, because I can make you sound a lot more interesting and make it a lot more fun. So even if you're playing the same tune over and over again for months and months till you get the hang of it, I found that I'm showing you a way how you can make it far more interesting and change it and get used to all the rhythms and get your time in and have great fun with it, rather than just playing the same old song over and over again. You can play it in different ways and have fun, and you're still learning. And this is what you need to do as well. And remember to smile. If you look at my videos, there's about 80 odd videos on YouTube. On the early ones, I'm very serious. So try and smile, try and enjoy it, because I'm trying to enjoy. You should really smile. It's just concentration. It's not me being miserable. It's just you're concentrating so much you forget to smile. So try and keep smiling and keep cheerful. Enjoy what you're doing. And I hope this helps. And later on, I'll put some more videos on just to help other people. We'll just see how it goes. But enjoy looking at all those videos, the tutor videos, and then go on and look at all my other things, and you'll see that you can all have fun playing keyboards. Okay, thank you very much, and bye-bye.